Rustic Remedies started when Kurt and I started jamming together. Jeff basically said that he plays music, and that of course sparked my interest to talk to him a little bit more about music other than work-related stuff.
Kurt, this is Robert. Robert plays guitar. Robert, this is Kurt. Kurt plays drums. And within 2 weeks, I think, we were practicing for the company picnic.
So that went well. We did a handful of songs together, and then within the following year, suddenly Jeff said, "Hey, I bought a bass."
And so we started planning for the next work picnic, and ended up putting a couple of sets of songs together, and just had a fun time. And that's kind of when things were like, maybe we can do this.
And we played 16 songs the first about 3 months after I got the bass at the company picnic. Everyone enjoyed it. So then
one night I was up there just kind of hanging out with them, just kind of listening to them and listening to my husband trying to learn how to play the bass. And they started playing some songs that I knew. And so I'm like, hey, I know that song. I'm like, I can start singing along. So I just started singing along.
Then we became a four-piece, and then we did one house show at the following company picnic as the four of us. And then Kurt's wife was talking to Kurt and said, hey, there's another guitar player that you guys might want to try out. And that would be Jerry.
They gave me the set list and some of the cover songs that they did. Showed up, I learned a bunch of them, if not most of them, and we got about halfway through the second song, and they were like, "You're in the band, Jerry."
And we invited him to practice, and he kept coming to practice, and everything was falling in line well, and then we officially invited him to join the band, and he was more than happy to do that, and the rest is history. So they say.
Okay. How we got Rustic Remedies was all of us would jot down ideas of a band name. Rustic was a common theme for all of us.
some of the guys hadn't played in quite a while. So they had, played as younger, and they hadn't played for a few years and started coming back out. So the rustic, that they were just, getting back into it. And that we were some older, there's three of us that are over 50 in the band. So, with the rusticness of just being old.
We kind of got rustic first, and then we were trying to find something that fit in with rustic.
I don't remember specifically a point in time where it was like, that's the one, that's it. It just kind of happened. But I like the tagline, music cures all ails.
Music is the cure for what ails you. And that's how we came up with Remedies, because it was like, The
Remedies this was an outlet for, our everyday life of working hard.
This is the cure for what ails us.
Oh, this has been such an eye-opening experience for me recording here. Paul is a really, really good mentor, I would call him right now. It's just really, really good at suggestions and making things work. I look forward to doing it again, being more prepared, I felt a little clumsy when I was playing, and I wasn't free. I will have a better free spirit the next time I come in.
I've learned a lot about everything from how to record, what goes into recording, the setup of the recording studio. So this is something that's just a year ago I never would have thought that I would be doing at this point in time in my life. But we have definitely grown as a band, and it's been a fun thing.
I had no idea. Not a clue. Have never been to a recording studio, have never done anything like this before. So when I came in yesterday, I was blown away. I thought, wow, this is the real deal. And again, to be a part of this, if it weren't for the band, would I have ever thought of myself going to a recording studio? No. So just being a part of the band and getting this experience has been amazing. This has been an amazing learning experience.
The studio itself has a really cool atmosphere. Paul's definitely knows what he's doing, and he's helping us move along and all become better musicians as we're walking out of here. And I think we all have a clearer vision of what these 2 songs are that we recorded, because we were always kind of being a little bit inconsistent on how we delivered it live. But in here, it's kind of locked on. We get to listen back to it, and I think that'll help us kind of perform these songs tight and consistent every time. Always room for, a little play and change here and there, but I think everybody's happy with the sound for sure. The production has been great, and yeah, I could see us definitely coming back here again.
This has been a pure pleasure and joy for me so far this weekend. When Rob was getting everything set up, he kept mentioning Paul, but I didn't realize that it was Paul Smith from the Badleys, and that's kind of a cool connection piece for me. Even like growing up in Scranton, PA, this band was well known like in the area, so there was a kind of that tie-in, because my dad always played River songs, and Paul plays on that album, and that was always playing with like Collective Soul and other bands that were coming up in the 90s too. So actually being into this location and Paul giving us the history that used to be used to record like older Christian music, and then also just other local musicians that wanted to record their craft, just his kind of legacy on Central PA with music, and then kind of where we are today, all those pieces tying together really made this even further special. And I kind of go into this mindset for recording of, yes, we have the template for what we want to do, being prepared to do that, but then also being ready to capitalize on opportunities. So if there is a chance to do a different solo, or there was a couple different licks that we did a little bit differently than we would have done live, this is a new way to make that part of our live shows coming up.
So it's been, I don't think we're going all the way to the top and making it our full-time jobs, but we definitely are increasing our appearances around the area, and more people are requesting to do, for us to do music for them. And it's just been fun to see the growth, and a nice slow growth is always good, whether in business or with the band.
I think for us, like for me, the big thing is if we have that opportunity to get together each week to practice our music, and then be able to have those opportunities to not only play out live, but then be asked back to play out live again and do that regionally, I'd be happy as a clam with that.
I think that we're just going to continue to bring others joy through our music. That is kind of our motto. We love to see other people enjoying listening to us and enjoying our music.
And the one big thing that we all have in common is we all have families, whether they be young families or ones that are now adults in the adulting world, or even being grandparents. And for us, what's important is trying to leave that legacy or that stamp. So I think for myself personally, for my own kids to be able to hear some of the recordings, and they always knew Dad was passionate about music, and to be able to pass that down. But I think what's important to me is that Robert has the same opportunity to do that, JD and Tara do, and then same with Kurt as well. With Kurt even being a grandfather, his grandchildren get to listen to the music that he made and got a chance to record. So I think that to me is the most important part. If there's cool opportunities that pop up, totally open for those. Just like I mentioned before, we're limited by our creativity and sometimes funding and money.
I see great things for us coming up. We're just gonna keep on keeping on. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and just our goal is to obviously get better and get tighter as a unit and as a sound. But we've come a long way in just a year. We're coming up on a year, so we've come a long way, and I think we're just gonna continue to get better and better as we go.
The mountains are calling, and I must go.